Hello everyone, my name is Yeonmi Park and I'm 21 years old. And before I start, I have to say this. Wow, what an honor. I'm at Yale now. Wow, this is one of the best universities in the world. Even like 5 months ago, I would never imagine myself to be here and standing and share my story with these world future leaders. So, by the way, I just had to say that, that how I'm just so humbled and honored to be here today. So, I was born in city of Haesan, North Korea, on the Chinese border. North Korea is an unimaginable country. There is so much suffering and no freedom is allowed. But it's also a place of hope because of my generation, the black market generation, who experienced outside culture and information. When I grew up, China was so close, just a few meters across. But I could not just cross because of their soldier who would shoot me. In North Korea, the government completely decides your opportunities and positions in life. You can't plan anything for yourself, and you don't have to think too much. Because the government controls everything. They tell you what your future will be, even before you are born. Everything is decided, rationed and provided by the regime. We are taught to worship the great leader Kim Il-sung and his son Kim Jong-il. We were told they were like our fathers, or more than that. And we had to love them because they sacrificed so much for us. I literally thought our leader, Kim Jong-il, could read my mind, that I could not have private thoughts. One of my first memories of my mother telling me not to even whisper. The birds and mice can hear my whisper. I was born in 1993. In 1994, Kim Il-sung, the North Koreans, the first Kim dictator, he died, and his son Kim Jong-il took over. But because of the Soviet Union collapsed, nobody was helping North Korea anymore. In the past, we were like doing food rations by the government. But now, without Soviet Union help, there was no public distribution going on, and there was massive famine in North Korea. In the late 1990s, and maybe 1 million people or more than that have died for the starvation. My family managed to avoid starvation because my father was making money through a black market business. My family was not hungry, but I saw the dead bodies and starving children on the street. During the famine, because of the government was not distributing food, the only way to survive was black market. My generation, those born during this time, in the 80s and 90s, I called the black market generation. Jangmadang is our word for the market. We had to find our own ways to survive by breaking the rules and operating markets in the black market. In addition to supplying food and necessities, black markets were also a way to obtain entertainment and information from the outside world. Even when I was young, I watched a lot of American movies, like Snow White and Cinderella. Then I saw the movie Titanic. It was a huge turning point in my life. In North Korea, there's no internet, and no newspapers or outside movies, no human stories, nothing but propaganda about the leader. But in Titanic, there was no propaganda. They were talking about love stories and humanity. Someone was willing to die for love, not just for the regime, and it gave me a taste of freedom. I would watch like James Bond movie, and of course there's no internet in North Korea, so there's no way for me to know if it's accurate or not. So when I like watching James Bond movie, I feel like, wow, Americans, they are shooting each other all the time. And they like climb the tall buildings. And I thought, wow, I cannot do that. And later I watched A Pretty Woman. I thought, oh my god, they're so romantic. I want to meet a guy like that. But later I saw the WWF Pro Wrestling. And I thought, whoa, men in America, they have big muscles. But not here. So watching foreign media was a true joy for me. To see such a different world, to see how people can express themselves in a unique way. That wasn't possible in North Korea. In North Korea, the government tells us what to say, what to sing, what to wear, even what to think. But the movie we saw, and it was different. People can do the things that whatever they wanted to do. And actually, this is changing the young generation's mindset in North Korea today. Young generation in North Korea today, like myself, they want to dye their hair. They want to wear jeans. They wanted to sing the song they wanted to sing. So, and that's why I'm saying the foreign media is really changing the young generation in North Korea today. In 2002, my whole world collapsed. My hero, my father, got arrested for his illegal trading business, and he was sent to labor camp. And suddenly our lives were destroyed. In North Korea, my father's sins are my sins. So I was guilty too, and we called that my blood was tainted. I was a criminal's daughter. There was no way I could go to a university or become a doctor or could get married with a man who have a background. And my destiny was so obvious. I was going to be a farmer forever. My father tortured in prison labor camp, and he got very sick. It was a colon cancer, but we didn't know at that time. He managed to bribe the guards to come back to Hasan to get treatment and Jong-il with him later. But even with him back, he couldn't work, and we were so hungry, we were afraid of starving to death. With no hope and no food, we decided to escape to China. And first my older sister left North Korea, then my mother and I followed. Later my father would come too. And at that time, I just thought if I go to China, I would eat something, maybe just eat something there. And I didn't think that much, and I was too naive. But in China, things got worse. And imagine that North Korea is the worst place in the world. And often we say worst of worst. But China was worse, more than worse than North Korea. And so when my mother and I crossed the river, frozen river, and we just realized that we were tricked by human traffickers. And the broker wanted to have sex with me. And I was 13 years old. And I did not even know the words, what does it mean, sex, that time. And my mother allowed herself to be raped in order to protect me. And I had to see her being raped in front of my eyes. We spent next 18 months in China and hiding, terrified being caught by Chinese police. So Chinese governments, they treat us like criminals. So if they catch us, they will send us back to North Korea, despite they know that we are going to be punished severely. It can be execution or imprisonment. So we are very vulnerable. And among the defectors, almost 70 to 80% is female women. And these women very vulnerable, and they are usually tricked by human traffickers. So sometimes girls just like me, 13, 15, 20, they are being sold for as little as $200. And we have to think about this. We all have small thing in our hands, that smartphone cord. Recently, I only just heard about. And even it costs more than that. And in some part of the world, some girls like just myself can be being sold for that little money. And when I just see this situation, to me like justice, equality, freedom, here we are talking about all day, and those kind of words too luxury to me, to be honest. My father later joined us in China, but he was very sick and he died later. So I had to bury his ashes at 3 a.m. in the middle of the mountain. And my mother and we thought we cannot live like this anymore. We had to find a way to live like human beings with a dignity. So we decided to escape again. So finally in 2009, during the coldest time of the winter, we joined a small band of North Korean people, and we were making a dangerous escape across the Gobi Desert into Mongolia. We left on a freezing cold, black night, and we couldn't use our compass. So we followed stars north, walking and crawling to freedom. We had hidden small knives in our sleeves, and we were ready to kill ourselves if we were going to be sent back to North Korea. Luckily, we made it to Mongolia and then to South Korea. In South Korea, I learned amazing things. They told me all the human beings are equal and we have the rights to be free and to have the rights. And I thought, wow, I never knew I had the rights to be free, or even human beings deserve to have those rights. And I couldn't really understand for a while. How come the people who knew all the human beings are equal and we deserve to be free and did nothing about it? What's happening in North Korea for like 7 decades? And that's kind of still a dilemma for me. So today, just like I didn't know anything about the world, and the world really have no idea what's going on in North Korea to the ordinary people beyond the nuclear weapon or Kim dictator. They just think about the dictators and nuclear weapons, political issues, and they know, that crazy things are happening when the son is making fun of Kim Jong-un. And so I have to speak out the truth and tell the world what is really happening. And I'm trying to show the world true heart of North Korea. And obviously we all agree that they deserve the same things that we deserve here. So today there are 27,000 North Koreans who left North Korea and served in South Korea. And this defector community has many different ways of getting outside the culture and education inside North Korea. So when the winds are right, some defectors float balloons with information leaflets over the border into North Korea. Others produce radio programs so that North Koreans with tunable radios can listen to news and entertainment from the outside world. And many have smuggled different kinds of technology and media through black markets on the Chinese border. If we can get enough Wikipedias, books, and movies into our country, we can change its destiny. And there's no way I can express that how grateful I am to be here. And just for the last, I want to share that. When you crossing that Gobi Desert or that frozen river, whatever that border will be, we are saying we are crossing the heaven's border. So we are today, this is a heaven. For some people, we are what we have today here and what we get to enjoy. This is somebody's dream, or even beyond that. So I'm so grateful to see everyone and meet everyone in this heaven. And I really hope everyone can join with me to free the people who deserve the same thing and who have the same emotions. And just to remind you that the girls being sold for that little money or who just dying for the watching a movie, they are not different. They feel what you feel. And they feel the horrors. Really, they deserve the same thing. So thank you so much for listening.